Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on something quite disturbing, an incident in Bengaluru. It's really made us think hard about getting around cities, how safe these ride-sharing apps actually are, and, well, what happens when things go wrong and someone speaks out online. We're looking at a specific evening, Thursday, November 6th, 2025. Should have been completely ordinary. Picture this. Bengaluru, Church Street, busy central area, a young professional just needs a quick, maybe 10-minute bike taxi ride home. Simple. But it wasn't simple. It turned into this really frightening ordeal, a total breakdown of trust in just minutes. We really need to unpack how that happened.
Exactly. And that's what we want to explore for you today. It's not just about recounting the event, though we will. It's about looking at the cracks this revealed, how fragile safety can feel in our busy cities, whether the tech we rely on actually helps in a physical crisis, and importantly, the impact one person can have by refusing to stay quiet.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The moment things started to unravel, it starts normally, right? You open the app, you book the ride, you see the driver's rating maybe, you hop on the back of the bike, trusting the system, the convenience.
That's the deal, isn't it? Convenience for a bit of, well, assumed safety. But on this ride, that assumption just shattered. The account is quite stark. The driver's hand allegedly reaches back towards the passenger's leg, not just a brush, a definite movement. And then it happens again, a second time, just incredibly brazen mid-ride.
Wow. And the passenger's reaction? Immediate, you'd think.
Yes, instant shock. A plea, really, in Hindi. Brother, what are you doing? Don't do it. It's that disbelief that appealed to basic decency.
So powerful, but then you're stuck, right, on a moving bike.
Precisely. That's the trap. Her plea, her command to stop, it's just lost, swallowed by the engine noise, the traffic. You're in transit, moving fast, streets blurring past, jumping off isn't safe, and most people wouldn't know how to, say, kill the engine themselves. So even after the hand moves away, the fear just hangs there. You're trapped, completely out of control. The bike itself feels like a cage.
That's a terrifying thought, the vehicle itself working against you. Okay, so the ride eventually ends, they reach the destination. What happens then? This brings us to that sort of crash landing moment you mentioned and how someone else got involved.
Right. She basically tumbled off the bike as it stopped. The adrenaline dump hits hard. Legs shaking, tears, just raw shock. Standing there under a street lamp, feeling completely exposed.
But then someone noticed. This is the Good Samaritan part of the story.
Yeah, a crucial moment. Someone across the street, just a passerby, saw her distress, saw the driver trying to make a quick, sheepish getaway. And this person didn't hesitate. They saw something was wrong and stepped in, cornered the driver right there.
Thank goodness for that. That takes courage to intervene like that.
It really does. And it highlights that community awareness, that human element can be faster than any app alert. Cornered, the driver apparently mumbled an apology, said it wouldn't happen again, which, suggests he knew exactly what he'd done.
An apology under pressure, perhaps, but the story doesn't quite end there, does it? There's a final chilling moment.
No, it doesn't. As the driver finally pulls away, gets ready to leave, he turns back. And he doesn't say anything. He just points. A pointed finger. It's described as this silent, deliberate threat. A warning.
Wow. So violation, confrontation, apology, and then intimidation.
All in what, 15 minutes?
Less than 15 minutes, yeah. It's an incredibly rapid cycle. Violation to this veiled menace. It just throws that question wide open, doesn't it? How safe are we really when basic decency fails like that on our streets?
Absolutely. And in that moment, faced with that intimidation, it would be easy to just shrink away. But she didn't. She turned to her phone. This kicks off the whole digital response, right? Exactly. She grabs her phone, hands probably still shaking, and films a video. Not of the act itself that was too fast, too unexpected. But she filmed her immediate reaction, her raw emotion, the shock, the tears, documenting the aftermath.
And she posted it online.
Yes, on Instagram. A refusal to be silenced. She laid it all out, the fear, what happened. And her message was clear. No woman should have to go through something like this. Please stay alert, trust your instincts, and don't stay silent. It was a call to action.
And the internet being the internet, I imagine the reaction was mixed.
Well, completely. That classic double-edged sword. On one hand, a huge wave of support, people sharing similar stories, offering solidarity, really powerful. But then almost immediately, the other side, the doubters, the gaslighters, people picking apart the video saying, oh, maybe his elbow just slipped or he was just resting it there innocently.
That's incredibly painful to be questioned like that right after something traumatic.
It is. And it shows how hard it can be to get people to believe experiences that aren't, caught perfectly on camera with physical evidence. It really underlines why getting official channels involved is so important.
So did the official channels step up? The police?
They did, and remarkably quickly, actually. The Bengaluru City Police are known for being active on social media. They literally slid into her comments, as the phrase goes,
Yeah.
publicly asked for the key details, where it happened, the time, her contact info, so they could start a proper investigation.
That's quite proactive. And did she follow up formally?
Absolutely. The very next day, she went and filed a formal FIR, a First Information Report. For listeners maybe unfamiliar, that's the essential first step to kick off a police investigation in India. And she was determined. She apparently told them she wanted to help find CCTV footage, anything that could show the actual grab, the 2 times it happened.
Good for her. And what about the company, Rapido, the platform she used?
They couldn't ignore it, obviously, with the post going viral and the police involved. Yeah. They put out an official statement, measured, corporate language, expressing concern about the captain's inappropriate conduct. They promised a full investigation, reiterated that safety is a top priority. The standard lines.
The standard lines. You have to wonder, though, is that genuine commitment to change? Or is it mostly PR damage control?
That's always the question, isn't it? Firing or blacklisting one driver is relatively easy. It contains the immediate problem.
But does it fix the underlying system? Does it prevent the next incident?
Exactly. And these incidents always spark internal talk, whispers about what platforms could do. You hear about maybe auditing driver histories more thoroughly, potential blacklisting across platforms, not just one.
Right.
But the real tougher changes, things like truly enhanced background checks, maybe better in-app panic buttons that actually do something instantly, those are harder to implement, especially in the gig economy model.
Which brings us nicely to the bigger picture. This whole thing serves as a kind of wake-up call, doesn't it, about the specific risks of bike taxis in India's cities.
A huge wake-up call. Bike taxis offer so much they're cheap, they can weave through traffic jams, they promise freedom, especially in gridlock cities. But, and this is a crucial point, they take away that basic physical barrier, that cocoon of 4 doors and a partition you get in a car or an auto rickshaw. You're just out there, exposed.
And there's data to back this up, right? You mentioned stats from Bengaluru.
Yes, the police logs themselves are showing a worrying trend. Harassment complaints involving ride shares, particularly the 2-wheelers, reportedly spiked something like 20% in the last year alone.
20%. That's huge. Is that more incidents happening or just more people reporting them now because of stories like this one?
Probably a bit of both, I guess. Social media definitely makes these things more visible, encourages reporting. But the fact remains, these things are happening frequently on bikes and scooters, where getting away for the passenger is much, much harder. And it makes you ask, why aren't the existing safety features enough? Apps talk about GPS tracking, SOS buttons. But think about it. A quick sleight of hand grab, that happens way too fast for GPS tracking to matter. It slips right through those technological safety nets.
Right. Tracking your location doesn't stop someone's hand. So the usual advice, carry a whistle, screenshot the ride details. It feels a bit inadequate. What needs to change structurally? What should the platforms be doing?
Well, the responsibility has to be more systemic, I think. Vetting needs to be much more rigorous. And we need to talk about why background checks sometimes fail. High driver turnover, the way gig workers are classified. It's complex. But platforms need to think more proactively. Maybe mandatory body cams for drivers on certain routes, something that provides immediate audio or video proof if needed.
That's a thought. But then you get into issues of privacy, data, cost. And where does the platform's job end and the police's begin?
It needs to be a partnership, surely. The platform has the ride data, the driver info. They have the power to deactivate a driver. But if a driver is let go for something serious like this, that information has to be shared with police, maybe even shared between competing platforms so they don't just sign up somewhere else the next day. Real safety involves data sharing, accountability that follows the driver, and maybe even clearer liability for the platforms beyond just facilitating the ride.
So putting it all together, this single incident in Bengaluru really does cut deep. It shows vulnerability, yes, but also the power of speaking out, using digital tools to demand action. It forced everyone, the company, the police, to respond. It's a powerful example.
It absolutely is. We've seen how one person's courage, amplified online, could speed up the response. But here's something I want to leave you, the listener, thinking about. We know lasting change needs both individual bravery and better systems, better protocols. But in a situation like this, in a city like Bengaluru, What do you think makes the most immediate difference? Is it that quick thinking Good Samaritan, that stranger stepping in right there on the street? Or is it the slower, maybe more bureaucratic process of forcing companies and authorities to implement new safety tech? Where does the real power lie for rapid change? Something to ponder. Stay tuned, and please stay safe out there.